Good morning, Year 2. Welcome to Monday's maths lesson. So first of all, I would like you please to write the date and skill into your catch-up book. So the date is Monday the 8th of February 2021 and your skill is to recognise and make thirds. So pause the video, off you go. Okay, so our starter today then. The minions have eaten 1/4 of 20 bananas. How many bananas have they eaten? So draw your sharing circles to have a go at answering this. So pause the video and you can have a go at that now. Okay, so hopefully you drew 4 sharing circles because our denominator is 4. So we're splitting the whole into 4 groups and you shared 20 maybe dots or counters, whatever you're using, into those 4 sharing circles, and then you just counted one of them and you should have the answer 5. Well done if you got that, good job. So we now know that they've eaten 5 bananas out of the 20 that they had. So how many bananas are left and what fraction of the 20 bananas that they had originally are left? So pause the video, see if you can answer that one now. So 3/4 of the 20 bananas are left, which is the same as 15 bananas. Well done if you got that one. Okay, so today we are going to be exploring thirds of a shape. So I want you to have a little think. If it's thirds, what does the thirds sound like? How many groups or parts will a shape be split into if it's split into thirds? What do you think? Well, we'll find out, won't we? So here we have got 1/3 of this whole circle shaded in. So well done if you said thirds must be split into groups of 3. You are correct. So the whole circle has been split into 3 equal pieces. So they've been split into thirds and one of those pieces have been shaded, which means 1/3 have been shaded. I'd like you to pause the video and just practice writing the fraction 1/3 into your book. Okay, well done. So I would like you to now have a go at completing the gaps in these stem sentences. So we've got something, equal parts make one whole. So how many equal parts have we got in that one whole? The name of each part is a what? The numerator of the fraction that is shaded in is what? And the denominator of that fraction is what? So pause the video and have a go and we'll do them together in a minute. Okay, so 3 equal parts make one whole in this picture. And as we said at the beginning, the name of each part is a third. So well done if you got that one. So in the fraction 1/3, the numerator, the top number, is 1 because we've got one section shaded in. And the denominator, the bottom number in our fraction, is 3 because the whole has been split into 3 parts. Well done if you got that. Okay, so here we have got 2/3 shaded in. So the whole has been split into 3 equal pieces and 2 of those pieces have been shaded. So the denominator stays the same because we're still using thirds, but the numerator, the top number, has changed, hasn't it? Because this time we've got 2 sections shaded in. So what fraction does this show? I'd like you to pause the video and have a little think about how we would write this fraction. Off you go. Okay, so we could write it as 3 with our numerator of 3, the top number, over the denominator 3. So it would be 3 and a line with 3 underneath it. But it would be easier to just write the number 1, wouldn't it? Because we've got a whole number 1. So we've got one whole, so we just write it as a number 1. So the whole has been split into 3 equal pieces and 3 of those pieces have been shaded. So we could do it as 3 over 3, but it would be easier to just write it as one whole. Well done. Okay, here is a whole pizza. How many pieces has the pizza been split into? Would this number be the numerator, the top number, or the denominator? So have a little think, where would that number go? Okay, so the pizza has been split into 3 pieces, hasn't it? And we know that when the whole has been split into a certain number of pieces, that number is the one that goes at the bottom of our fraction. That's our denominator. So the bottom number in this fraction would be 3. So 1 whole split into 3 equal parts means you have split the whole into thirds. So each part is 1/3 and 3/3 make a whole. So there's 1/3, that's how we write our fraction 1/3. And there's our fraction 2/3. Okay, talk to your talk partner then. How could we shade part of each of these shapes to represent 1/3? And I'd like you to have a go at finding 3 different ways. So you don't need to write anything into your book, but you can just have a little chat, pause the video and have a go at that now. Okay, well done. So this is how we could shade each part to represent 1/3 in 3 different ways. So we've got 1 part shaded in on the left-hand side, 1 part shaded in the middle, and 1 part shaded on the right-hand side. Well done if you got those. Okay, on to task 1 then. Which of these images show 1/3 or 2/3? So into your book, I would like you to write the title, the subheading really, 1/3 and 2/3. And underneath those subheadings, you can draw the shapes that show 1/3. And then under the second subheading, you can draw the shapes that are showing 2/3. So if there are any shapes that aren't showing 1/3 or 2/3, you don't need to write them into your book. So for example, this shade here, we can see, this shape, here, is split into 1, 2, 3 equal parts. So we know that that's split into thirds. And 1 section has been shaded. So this shape I would draw underneath my subheading 1/3. This shape, however, I would draw under the subheading 2/3 because 2 sections have been shaded in. But this shape has been split into 1, 2, 3, 4 equal parts. So I'm not going to draw this one into my book because it has been split into 4 parts. So it's been split into quarters. Okay, pause the video and have a go at task 1 now. Well done if you got, when you did all of that, good job. Task 2 then. So on the website underneath this video, you can print out the PDF of these grids, or if you just like to see them slightly more clearly, you can open up that file on whatever device you're using as well to copy it into your book. And I would like you to find 6 different ways to show 1/3. So we've got 6 grids, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you can either print these and stick them into your book or draw them into your book and find 6 different ways to find 1/3. So just like we did at the very beginning with the red boxes shaded in, finding different ways to shade in 1/3. So before we start, I'd like to have a look at the whole box. How many parts has it been broken into? So what is the whole? So you can count them up. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So there's 12 boxes in each grid. And what would 1/3 of 12 be? So before you start, that is the first thing you need to figure out. And then you can start finding 1/3 of each of these shapes. Okay, pause the video, off you go. Okay, so hopefully you said that 1/3 of 12 is 4. So as long as you have shaded in 4 boxes in each grid, doesn't matter how you've done it, but they're all different, then you have done that correctly. So well done. You can double check now to make sure as well. Here are some examples of what you could have drawn or shaded in to show 1/3. But of course there are lots of different ways. So if you haven't done one of these, don't worry. If you've done it slightly differently, don't worry. As long as you've shaded in 4 boxes. So we've got 4 together here. We've got 2, 2 on each end, 4 in the middle of the bottom line, and 4 in a sort of zigzag pattern there. So again, you can give yours a tick as long as you have shaded in just 4 squares on each grid. Well done. Okay, challenge time. Mike says, I have 1/3 of a pizza because I have one slice and there are 3 slices left. Do you agree? And I'd like you to explain your reasoning into your book. So pause the video and have a go at your challenge now. Okay, so Mike is incorrect. He has 1/4 of a pizza because there are 4 slices altogether. So if he's holding one and he's got 3 left on his plate, 3 add 1 make 4, don't they? So if the pizza's been split into 4, then we know that that's been split into quarters. So there would need to be only 3 slices altogether for him to have it in thirds. So if he was holding one, there would only be 2 left on the plate if it was split into thirds. Well done if you got that one, if you spotted that and wrote that into your book. And finally then, your final thought for today. Mike, Sully and Randall each show a piece of ribbon. Mike shows half of his whole piece of ribbon. Sully shows 1/4 of his whole piece of ribbon, and Randall shows 1/3 of his whole piece of ribbon. So my question for you then is, whose piece will be the longest out of these pieces of ribbon? So Mike's only got half, Sully has got 1/4 that you can see, and Randall has got 1/3. So if you could see the whole piece of their ribbon, because they're only showing you a fraction of their ribbon, if you could see the whole piece of their ribbon, who would have the longest piece? So you can pause the video and have a go at that now. Okay, so the answer is that Sully's piece will be the longest because he will have 4 parts altogether. Mike's ribbon will be the shortest because he will only have 2 parts. So Mike will have this and the same again, whereas Sully would have 4 pieces this size all put together. Oh, sorry, there we go, press the button by accident. So he would have 4 times this amount, so his would be the longest. Well done if you said that. Okay, well done today. I hope you enjoyed our maths lesson, and I will see you later. Take care. Goodbye.